There's just one in the chat that's just popped up from Douglas, which is, what opportunities are there for reusing and recycling tubes?
So, hello, Douglas. I know Douglas quite well. We've had these conversations. So at the moment, we obviously trying to understand where the government's going in terms of I mentioned it on the electric arc, the scrap industry. So if the electric arc industry and the scrap associated, the refinement of that material is put in place, then we can look at using more and more of the steel which we make to make more tube. That isn't in place at the moment. So we would look at on particular projects whether there is an opportunity of us revalidating and recertifying our products for reuse. That is an option. And we're happy to sort of talk and work with people to see whether that is something which can be undertaken. We're also trying to increase the recycled content of our steel, but because we make the virgin steel, we only go to a certain level before we start losing some of the mechanical properties. So really, for me, it's about looking at the design. It's looking about what we can do in terms of demountable systems, how those systems can be recertified, and at some point, hopefully in the not too distant future, we'd be looking at either take back schemes or working with others in the industry to be able to take more of our product back, and hopefully through an electric arc process, we'll be able to basically use almost all of that material up to 100% to turn it back into new tube. But again, I do feel that there's an awful lot we can do with demountable pipework for recertification and reuse, which would then obviously not mean that tube had to go back and go through the whole manufacturing process again. But we're very early days in the UK, unfortunately. Lots of discussions going on, lots of emotion, as you probably hear in the news, because people look at electric arc is a good way for us to move forward as a business. But obviously people then think that that's us making less steel. Well, no, we're just being a little bit smarter about the steel we are making and try and get more use out of that steel. But of course, it's all to do with the government and the industrial strategy and the energy strategies. But I think, for me, there's opportunities now. I hate using the term low hanging fruit, but there's stuff which we can do now working with each other to define the right pipework specifications and the right walls. So if you're using the right tube, it's sized correctly, then there's a huge benefit there, not just on the pipework, but on the system as well.